Everyone thinks that having an AI group is the way to go. I think it's a great way to slow down your company. Org design is one of those things people yawn about, and yet it's a personal passion for me. 12 years ago, after selling Face Account to Facebook, I had front row seats to seeing them going through a crisis, the mobile crisis. And at the time, Mark had a mobile team dedicated to building features that other teams were building for desktop. And that meant that they didn't know what's the business impact. They had to constantly run after the other product groups. So the photo group would build a cropping or a filtering, and then the mobile team had to rebuild it for mobile. And that meant that they were always constrained, and they had no idea what's the business impact of every one of those features, and so they couldn't prioritize. And it seems obvious now, but the same exact thing is happening with AI in product groups. Almost every company I know has a separate AI team that is building what is convenient or what's challenging or what they like about AI, like supply-demand matching, like forecasting. That's their comfort zone. Instead, if you embed an AI engineer, an applied AI engineer in each of your product groups, what you'll get is much faster response, better focus at the business problems, and most of all, speed, right? The velocity of implementing AI in your organization. A great example of this is Windward. They track all the ships in the world, originally catching the Iranian bad guys, but actually containers is a much bigger business. So a typical AI team would build a container forecasting. Instead, what you can really build value on is around what business penalty will I pay if a container doesn't arrive on time, right? And it's a much simpler problem. It's reading through the contract and being able to understand the impact of every delay, but the business value is just totally different. Having an AI team is wrong. Having an AI guild is probably the way to go. So you have knowledge sharing, you have infrastructure building, but the engineers themselves are embedded in each of those organizations. It's a worthwhile intro for how we think about organizational maturity insofar as AI, but that's for a different part and perspective.